Hey guys, I'm Grant Owens. I've been talking about this artist all year, and finally she's here in Los Angeles. Arlo Parks, welcome to We Found New Music.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're thrilled to have you here. You just performed a few tracks for us. What did you play?
So I played Cola and Super Sad Generation, and they were on my debut EP. Yeah.
The debut EP is out now. If you haven't heard it yet, it's a must. Cola was the track that I first discovered her with, and that was just something that I've put on repeat ever since. So thank you for performing it for us. George is out now, the most recent single. You just keep on improving from one to the next. So that sound that we're listening to, what can we call it? It's kind of this chill, laid back, real style.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like it's quite a confessional style, quite emotional music. I guess sonically it's got a little bit of R&B in there, a little bit of soul. So it's kind of like a mishmash of like a lot of different things. Yeah.
What are some of your musical influences, or what have you been loving growing up?
So, I mean, my influences, I'd say I listen to a lot of like funk. So like Sly and the Family Stone and like Parliament Funkadelic and stuff. Weirdly, also a lot of like singer-songwriters. I feel like that's where the more emotional side comes out. Like Bob Dylan, Phoebe Bridgers more recently, and like all that kind of stuff. Sufjan Stevens. So yeah, just a bunch of different stuff. Yeah.
That guitar style that comes up, it's a little bit of a grungy vibe, which is kind of fun. Did you ever listen to any 90s grunge like Nirvana?
Yeah, I do have a poster of Kirk in my room.
I feel like there's a little bit of that in the sound as well.
Definitely.
And you played live recently at Glastonbury. Seemed like you were having so much fun on stage.
Yeah, I always have a lot of fun. I do like to jump around and do silly things because, you know.
Yeah, and we heard a lot of those guitars that I mentioned. You know, it's a live band. Tell us about the live band. It's just you have a few guitarists.
Yeah, so there's a bassist, a guitarist, a drummer, and me. And yeah, they're all kind of like jazz kids, super talented, around my age. And we kind of got together a few months ago, and we haven't actually played that many shows. We were kind of thrown in at the deep end with The Great Escape being our first show together. But yeah, like we have a good time and we're friends.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, you can check out a little sample of what it's like live. It definitely still has that raw edge, but you're doing the pop, which is a fun blend of everything. That's what I'm telling people about. Touting that blend. It's like it's a little bit of the Sly and Family Stone, but you also have a little Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
How do you kind of construct songs in the studio? Is it you and then you build from there?
So usually most songs that I make, it kind of starts with the lyrics. It starts with the poetry because I write a lot of poetry. And sometimes if I'm doing production by myself, I feel like the music is usually inspired by the words. Wow. So that's kind of how I build it up. It depends.
Cool. How about the name Arlo Parks? Where does that come from?
Oh, that's actually quite a funny story. So I was reading this King Cruel interview where he's talking about where he got his name from. And he said that it was like a king crawling through the city at his lowest point. And I was like, Arlo, I like that. And then I was hanging out with my friends in the park, and I was stressing about finding like a double-barreled like bit to it. And then one of my friends was just like, calm down, like we're in the park, just chill out. And I was like, Parks, Arlo Parks. And then it just all kind of like came together. Wow. Yeah.
That's a cool story. Yeah, King Cruel's really cool. And he kind of has, I don't know, I was checking out some early stuff. Now you did more of like spoken word or rapping before, right? I assume that comes kind of out of your poetry.
Definitely.
But now you're doing more singing.
Yeah. I feel like I've always liked words, and I guess you're right. It started off with poetry, so like rapping seemed quite close to that, and then I kind of figured out like, oh, I can sing a little bit. Why don't I do that as well? And yeah,
that's cool. I feel like your sound is a combination of all these things you're talking about. King Cruel is a little bit rough around the edges, but you also have that grungy, rough around the edges. So, so cool.
Thank you.
I'm fangirling over here. So you're commenting on your generation in these songs. Tell us a little bit about that and the struggles and where that comes from in Super Sad Generation.
So I don't know. I feel like our generation, you know, we're going through a lot of struggles. Like it's a tough time, especially with like social media and the pressure of that. And so, yeah, I was kind of wanted in that song to talk about the things that not everyone wants to talk about. Like it challenges people and makes people a little bit uncomfortable to talk about mental health and things like that. So yeah, I just kind of wrote about the experiences of the people around me and my own personal experiences.
Great.
Yeah.
The George music video has to do with a love triangle. Is that based on personal experience for you?
Weirdly, that's actually based on a 19th century poet called Lord Byron. So his name's George Gordon, and he was like a massive, kind of like a narcissist who broke a lot of hearts and kind of left this trail of destruction and was completely oblivious to it. And I was like, that's quite relevant. I've met people like that before. I want to write a song about it. Yeah.
Cool. And now you've expressed that you're bisexual. So what does it mean to be bisexual in 2019?
I don't know. I feel like I'm living in this place where, you know, I'm privileged enough to have people who are supporting me and, you know, I'm not being persecuted for who I love. And I feel like just in terms of like sexuality and acceptance, obviously we're making progress, but there's still a long way to go because in many countries, you know, people still can't be who they are without facing like persecution. So yeah, I feel like I've been lucky enough to have been supported and I haven't experienced that much negativity.
Well, that's really important. So I'm happy to hear that. Now, back to the live side of things. I know we're dying to have you perform out here in the U.S. Have you been thinking about doing some touring out here?
I mean, I would love to. I feel like it's something that's definitely going to be in the works for next year. And yeah, because in America, it's honestly my dream has always been to play in LA. I don't know why. It's just always like been a thing. I mean, I said it in Superstar Generation, like everything will sort itself when I get to LA. I mean, obviously that's not completely true, but yeah.
Here you are.
Yeah, here I am. So as soon as possible, I want to do that. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait. And the other exciting news is you're going to have more music coming out in the new year or even sooner.
Yeah, so I should be dropping an EP, like kind of starting putting music out in September and then dropping it fully in November and then probably the album next year. Yeah.
What do you want to achieve with this debut artistically?
Wow.
Obviously, you're putting a piece of yourself out with every song.
Yeah, I'm not really sure yet. Honestly, I'm at the beginning of this journey. I feel like it's going to be a lot of experimentation and making sure that I'm doing something that has meaning, you know, that I'm actually saying something that needs to be said. Yeah.
So the first EP is out now, and then you're going to have a second EP also coming. So lots of new music.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we're excited, and
Thank
you're
you.
always welcome back. We're excited for your next visit. We're excited to maybe have you on our South by showcase.
Yeah,
So
man.
lots of potential teases here, guys. We're very excited about Arlo, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to seeing you soon. Where's the best place to follow your journey?
I guess Instagram, as basic as it is just arlo.parks. Yeah.
Okay. As long as my Instagram doesn't crash, I will be seeing you on Instagram. Arlo Parks, it's been a pleasure. And check out the full session on wefoundmusic.com. We'll see you guys next time.